Good evening, everybody. I don't know. Don't care. It's sometime in evening time. That's all I know. Today started out as a very good day. Easy work, no big issues or troubles. Um, as you will be able to see towards maybe at the beginning of this video, maybe at the end of this video. I don't know. But I made it to St. Louis, you know, alone. Mom decided she didn't want to go because she was afraid. She was afraid her nervousness would cause me to become nervous, which would cause an issue or an accident. And I went, okay. I mean, I figured you would sit in the back seat and just close your eyes until I asked you to help, with navigation. But my GPS was good. Everything was fine and dandy. There was a point that I was almost to the city limits on the one backcountry highway. So basically, I did make it up there. I just avoided the interchange there, just outside of St. Louis. I decided to go off the highway at Washington, the township of Washington, just outside of St. Louis, and go state route 100 or highway 100 through and up into the area of St. Louis known as Manchester, or the road is called Manchester. And the GPS took me to the hospital where Jerry was, the hospital where Jerry was without highways. And then I took the route from the hospital to my Aunt Sue's, all city streets, no highway. I just didn't want to deal with I wasn't totally ready for the interchange or the highway traffic. Did the same thing on the way home, took Route 100 to Washington and connected to 44 South. So I know I can do that much, which is going to be good because in 6 weeks we're going to have to go back up to St. Louis to see the doctor. And I don't know if that would be me and Jerry or me and Julie or what. So, yeah. Getting home was good. Getting into the house was a bit difficult. Two reasons why, actually three reasons why. The first reason, which is connected to the third reason, is the ramp was too steep. Now, if it had been a little bit longer with less, the ramp I have is almost like this. The ramp I was looking at, I didn't even catch the price, was a little less, a little less steep. So once I got everything lined up and did one or two trials to see how to push her up or pull her up, and I was like, okay, neither way is working. I get too tired or out of strength to complete the task. So then I figured if I back up far enough and keep the wheelchair lined up with the ramp and the door, I can just one big mighty push. Yeah, we finally got up the ramp and then wedged. The the parking brakes can get pushed in a little bit so they're not sticking out so far. But it's that round bar that goes around the outside of the wheels for the wheelchair that is what you're supposed to use to cause the wheelchair to have momentum. Didn't match up the measurements we gave them. And I know why. Because I did not measure. I measured from door frame to door frame and not door frame to open door. Luckily, one of her rehab people that she was working with, that she became really good friends with, said that if we wanted to, we can remove those bars to give it a less, a more narrow frame. And of course, Jerry got a phone call earlier today, shortly after I got home, saying that if the wheelchair is too wide, that they're willing to send her have someone bring a new one that should be just right for getting in and out of the door, and take the old one away. Well, if they were going to do that, why didn't they just come out to my house, measure everything, and then go back and get the right chair? I don't know. This is all like new territory to me. But so what we ended up having to do is I had to get her walker, which was in the back of my van, so she can stand up and move forward slowly, bearing very little to no weight on her right side, so I can close up the wheelchair, put it in, open it back up, and get her into it. That was the issue of getting into the house. Now, as for getting through doors and whatnot, yeah, the measurements are off by a good half inch to 3/4 of an inch, maybe. So this weekend, I'm going to try to adjust her wheelchair so she can use it around the house and get in and out of the bedroom. Because the only other issue that we're having is she can use the rollator around the house as long as she's sitting on it and not standing and pushing it along. So we put her into that to get her around the house because the doors were too narrow. And then we found another issue. The door jamb, the door thingy that goes in between the two rooms, is a little bit higher than we would like, because then she has an issue with pushing herself over that hump. So I don't know if that's going to be the same issue if the wheelchair can finally fit through the door, but I'm not sure. I won't know until I go fix her wheelchair. But then there was another issue, and I'm not pointing fingers. I know Jerry and I can both be very pig-headed and assertive when it comes to certain things. I wanted Jerry to be able to sit at the kitchen table with us to have dinner. And she said she couldn't. And I was like, why not? And basically it was like, I used up all my energy this morning doing my therapy. And back in my brain I was like, she used up all her energy to do her therapy. What was she doing at the rehab center? Because I know she had 3 45-minute sessions of therapy throughout the day. 2 PT, 1 OT. And if she did them before 11 a.m., she would still have 3 to 5 hours. Well, depending on what time of day she did them, she'd have 3 to 5 hours to recuperate from her exercises. So I could not, in my head, I could not get this. I couldn't see her point. And I was like, wait a minute. You do 45 minutes worth of exercise and you're out of energy, yet I can be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, work until 2:30, be home by 2:40, and continue until 8 p.m. of whatever needs to be done around the house, with very little to no rest once I got home. Even though last week I did end up taking, there was 2 different days, I ended up taking a nap when I got home from work for 45 minutes because I didn't sleep. I was exhausted. That in factor, I come home daily with aches and pains from my midsection down, if not from my shoulder blades down, depending on how much stuff or what kind of work I had to do. Now, I understand she has cancer. She will be going back onto her medication, which sometimes it drains her. Her other complaint was the reason why she didn't want to get up and go eat dinner at the dining room table is because the clamshell, or whatever you want to call that thing, digs into her hips and her armpits, and I'm like, I thought we were going to, I was like, okay. And she's like, I feel like I'm choking when I'm trying to eat. They've got this they cut out this nice big groove to keep it from being right here. And it was flat instead of like shaped, so her chin and whatnot wouldn't be like up here. I saw her riding home in the car yesterday, and it was not right up here. Now, it might have been digging into her armpit, which was pinching off nerves and probably blood flow. And I'm like, okay, I can understand you need the back part on to keep your spine in place and whatnot, but why'd they have to make such a big thing in the front? Why couldn't they just make something that goes down the middle of her chest that she straps to, so it's not digging into anything except for maybe her ribs? And if they made it a little bit wider instead of like wrapped all the way around, I don't know. And my brain is sitting there going, okay, is she making up excuses or is this legit? Because I can't tell. I'm not wearing a dang thing. I can just tell that it's not like up her throat where she was choking, on the I'm gonna call it the breastplate. I don't understand. I don't know about these things. I don't fully understand them, but when I look at certain things, I can get an idea of the logic behind it. But it's like all the excuses she was coming up with was like illogical. Did not make any sense to me. Did not seem logical. Because they purposely took it a third time around to make this gap down here for her throat. So unless they lower the armpit region lower than this, then yeah, I can see how it would rise up into her throat. But if it's, I don't know. I just, and I'm like, well, you can probably cut off the whole top area. See, the thing is, they did not give her a new one. They did not reform it because she still has that part in the front that looks like she's got a big belly. She don't no more. She lost a lot of. I can tell you this just by looking at her, looking at the way she lays, looking at her arm. I don't know if they call it the waddle or whatever it is, but the extra arm fat or the extra arm tissue that is like. Put it this way: if you can stretch it just right and reform it, she can make a bat wing from her arm because of all that extra tissue. Because she lost the fat cells have shrunk. I don't know if you know this from medical. You have X amount of fat cells underneath your skin, and they expand or shrink depending on how much fat you've eaten. like how much fat store you have on your body. Well, I can tell you right now, but just by looking at her, it's like she's going the way of her sister Janie. Her sister Janie was just about as heavy as Jerry Ann was and lost a lot of weight. She's got this, especially right here, this extra skin flap. Sounds weird and whatnot, but yeah, she's definitely lost weight. She didn't need that big curvature in the front end. They could have made a new breastplate to where it was a little bit more fatter, and I don't know. But it's just like, I don't understand or see how it could be a problem with choking. I can understand seeing if you're sitting in it for too long, it could be digging into her hips, it could be digging into her underarms, which will cause tingling sensation in her fingers because she's losing circulation or cutting off nerves, whatever. And it's not like I was asking her to put the bodice on, the clamshell on, to sit in the kitchen to have dinner for an hour, 30 minutes, and then she can go lay down and see if her stomach can handle it. So I'm just kind of like, I don't understand. Her logic did not make sense. Maybe it's a guy thing. Maybe it's because most guys think in a single line while women can think like a zigzag, like trying to follow a cobra down or run from a cobra down the flight line of the Thailand, like my dad used to tell us. He used to say, if you see somebody doing this on the flight line, that he's being chased by a cobra, go get him. Get in the Jeep and go get him. Hold on, folks. I'm sorry. I'm hearing sounds outside of my house all night. I don't know what it is. Could be a package being delivered. Anyhow, it's how things have gone in the last 24 hours. I'm happy she's home, but I'm just kind of like, when do I tell her to get up and do stuff? Her friend, her bestie, basically said, give her until the weekend. Give her another day. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. Because I'm hoping she'll be out in the living room when I start doing Christmas decor. Oh, I can't do that this weekend. This weekend, her brother-in-law Joey's coming from Vegas to pick up Julie's car and drive it back to Vegas. And he's going to spend the night here Saturday. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Because if Joey visiting doesn't bring her out of the bedroom, I don't know what to say. But anyhow, I'm cutting this off. Yeah, it's shorter than normal because of the factor. I'm trying to be nice about this video, but I just feel so aggravated. But anyhow, I'm not worried about the thumbs up, thumbs down. That's your choice. I don't pay attention to that no more. I do request that we try to keep the comments as positive as possible. I know I did talk about Jerry. If you want to make a reply about this video and try to be as positive as possible, it's fine and dandy. I don't want to hear no more about Jerry's channel. I watch it when I need to because I read the comments to her and let her tell me what to do with the comment, or hand her the phone so she can reply. So that's that. If you're new to my channel and you choose to join for whatever reason, hopefully it's for good, positive reasons, not anything else, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button, and then after that little bell will pop up and click on the bell, and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. Until next time, you guys have a good night. Enjoy. Bye. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, and I'm in St. Louis, freezing my tuchus off, getting the car warmed up, so I can go over and pick up Jerry from the rehab center. Now, don't mind these glasses. These are I forgot my regular glasses, and Jerry had a pair in the car. Luckily, they're just black. My drive up here was fairly good. I mean, it wasn't like obnoxious or anything like that. Gee, Merry Christmas. I did not realize how bad I was looking lately. I just slept at my aunt's house, which, if you see the brown buildings behind me, that's her apartments, where she lives. Hopefully, sorry, my camera's not being steady because I got the shakes, because I'm cold. It's like, let me check my car's, it's 29 degrees. Yeah, I drove up here by myself last night. Mom decided she didn't want to come because, well, she's a nervous passenger. Not that I unnerve her, but she's just not a good passenger. So I drove by myself. I use highways most of the way up until the township of Washington, which is before Eureka, which is before St. Louis. So basically what I did is I got off of Washington and I used Highway 100 to drive into St. Louis to get past the highway city traffic. But anyhow, when I have more, I will put more on here, and probably later on tonight you'll get the whole video. Until later, you have a good day. Hey everybody, it is the afternoon time. I am actually outside of the hospital where Jerry's supposed to be getting picked up. I hope I'm at the right entrance. I'll find out fairly soon. If not, I'll just have to find the right entrance. But yeah, I made it to St. Louis, and everything seems to be going quite well. I'll have more for you later.